Welcome to Living a Fulfilled Life podcast.
A weekly podcast on mental health awareness, everyday living, and just plain old feel-good conversations about how to have a fulfilled life from our perspective.
We're your host, and my name is Famous Irwin.
And I'm LaKisha Irwin, and we are licensed psychotherapists who
Work together,
build together,
live together.
bomb chicka chicka boom boom, and heal the world together. Please know that the content here is for informational and conversational purposes only. Because each person is unique, please make sure that you consult a healthcare professional before making any changes regarding your mental health needs. This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for mental health treatment.
Please join us as we have simple, real conversations about mental health and life.
We are looking forward to see how you hope, grow, and achieve a fulfilled life.
Hello and welcome again to A Fulfilled Life. This is Famous
And LaKisha.
And so, LaKisha, we have a very good topic today. We have a topic today that not originally, but you may think, what does this have to do with mental health?
Yeah, it's a really, really good topic. And our topic for today is drum roll. Is that a drum roll?
That's a drum roll.
Yeah, drum roll. Okay. Our topic for today is money, money, money.
You remember that song? Some people got to have it.
I thought you were going to come in on the money part with me, Famous.
Some people really need it. What to say? A good thing, a good thing, a good thing, bad thing.
Money, 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 money.
Right. And so that's our topic for today,
Guys,
money.
he's not coming in on the part that he's supposed to. You
I'm
know
off
the money
cue.
part.
I think I'm a solo singer. The group singing is hard.
Yeah. For both of us, I have no idea what I sound like out there, but I need y'all grace for
I
sure.
think I sound good. I can hear it in my ear.
Yeah, it always sounds like that with the earphones and all of that stuff on. Being in the studio, that crisp ooh, and then you take the earphones off, and it's like. It's like singing in the shower. You're singing in the shower and it feels like it's good,
So
but it ain't.
Here's my sexy voice on the mic.
Oh.
Hey, Keisha, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yeah,
I don't know
we're going
what
to
kind
talk
of voice
about
that
money
is.
today. Can we talk about money?
We going to
Talk about money.
We gonna talk about money.
Wow.
But we're talking about money. You may be out there today and you may be wondering, what does mental health have to do with money? Let me just tell you, there is a whole website that is dedicated to money and mental health matters. So if you go to moneyandmentalhealth.org, you will be able to look at some of this information. If there is a mental health problem, it is going to impact finances.
Yeah.
This is huge.
I can see that.
And so we're going to talk about some money beliefs that are out there today, just like we have in the past, because we are CBT, cognitive behavior therapists. We want to encourage you to think about your beliefs so you can in turn make some change. This is good stuff today, you all.
Your thoughts contribute to your actions.
For sure. They're so connected to what it is that we do, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about the world, and in turn, those actions that come from
Produces certain behaviors. Alrighty. I like that. The topic is money.
Yeah,
So let's
it's
jump
all
into
about
it.
money. So I'd like to jump into it by actually sharing about a study that was done in the state of Kansas. And this study really surrounded a money beliefs.
Okay.
The first one is money avoidance. Okay. And that can be connected with how we may avoid getting money, how we feel like, oh, we're not worthy of money. We're not supposed to have money in our lives.
Or money can get us in trouble. I have too much money. I'm going to invest in the wrong things. I'm going to overindulge. I'm going to cause problems.
Right, Famous.
And so a lot of people want to avoid money.
Yeah. And we hear this every day. You all hear this very often where you hear people that
More money, more problems.
more money, more problems. We got songs right out there to say
Well,
it. But still, so there's
yeah.
some avoidance within that belief of
Yeah.
maybe I should not have money because if I have money, it's going to cause more stress.
Sometimes when you have more money, people have the mindset that now I got to get more money. Now I got to get more money.
Right.
And they become insatiable with getting more money which causes a lot of other problems in their relationships.
So then that bleeds over into the next part, which is money worship.
Money worship.
So money worship. So what this is individuals who want money.
Yeah.
Man, if I can just win the lotto, then everything will be okay. And so there's individuals that really think that if we can just have more money, we're going to be safe.
And money worship. If I had enough money, I wouldn't have these problems.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Who you are with $5 is who you are with $5 million. It really magnifies, right? Whatever it is, it's the same behavior. So I remember Famous when I have in my history, I have done a lot of poverty counseling. And so I remember I was working with an agency, and within that agency, there were a lot of individuals that maybe did not have a job. They were going through employment training, and individuals would come in and they were like, I have no money. There's no way that I can budget. Right. And I would say, you have food stamps, right? So let's talk about how you're budgeting those food stamps.
Exactly.
Because I knew that the same skill would be transferable in other areas. Okay. So we could sit and have a good understanding of how they manage their food stamps, and that would tell us how they would be if they were millionaires.
Yeah, exactly. Have you noticed those people money worshiping we're talking about? Have you noticed those people when they have money, or they just, let's say they just got a stimulus check, or they just
refund check,
right, or they just got some type of check, they are the happiest people.
Yeah, bonus.
But when they don't have that money, they are the most sad, miserable, why am I existing type of people.
Right.
And so that's a good way that we can show how sometimes people worship money.
We can't let money rule us. It can't, but it has to just really be something that we understand is a tool to help us navigate through life.
Yeah. So we should really master it and not let it master us. Number 3
is money status. Okay? So when we talk about money status, these are individuals that feel like if they have money and if there's a certain type of money, then that puts them in a category where it's the them and the those. So we know the Joneses, right?
Exactly. And by the way, my best friend is this person. Therefore, this person has a lot of money and status. A couple of weeks ago, we were in Los Angeles. We were there for my birthday, and we ended up doing some other things.
Happy birthday.
But I was talking to a young lady because I was asking her about a seat, a chair. And she said, this chair is for someone else. And this person has all this status. And this person is this. And this person is great. And this person did this. It was like this worshiping of this person. And I'm thinking, dude, this person is a person.
Right, right.
But she really took it over because of the status of that person.
Right.
As if, because she knew her, that she too was of the equal status.
I did want to share that there was, when we're talking about how money can rule us, and you all, there is a movie and it's called The Joneses. It's from 2009, and it has Demi Moore in there. Who else does it have in there? A couple of other actors. This is not a commercial for them. So I don't know everyone, but it's a movie, and spoiler alert but it's a movie, and in it there's characters, and these characters are actually planted in different communities to try to encourage people to go after that financial status. And it was, for me, it was a couple of parts in there that was pretty touching, because there's a character that actually took his life because he was so charged with that bottomless pit of greed. And sometimes that's what happens. And when we think about mental health, think about how many people who are stressed because they want the bigger and the better. I would encourage you to look at that movie.
And those things are not always fictional. Those things are actually in reality. You know,
this is
I've
true.
actually had clients, who make a lot of money, especially during the pandemic. Oh my, they were falling apart. Falling apart, and we had to re-anchor them to let them know that, listen, those are things. Things can be replaced.
Facts.
But it really took a toll on their whole mental health and their whole well-being. And looking on the outside, gosh, how did that happen?
This is something to think about. As we're talking about money, if you recognize that you're in one of these places, it's important to say, how did we get here? We've heard how people say, hey, when they die, there's no trailer attached to that casket. We're not taking this stuff with us. So what is it? And what's the motivation behind it? What's the belief?
I just had a thought. I'm thinking of that person who has that nice car, something of high status, and this person, they're there sitting in their car and their radio is up loud and they're skidding off, and not everyone is that way, but just to see, look at my car, this car is over $100,000, look how loud it sounds. Look how good it is. I want you to pay attention because I'm a representation of my car.
Yeah.
Instead of my car being a representation of who I am.
Because when we talk about money beliefs, it's okay to have nice things.
Absolutely.
To drive nice things.
Absolutely.
And to work towards nice things.
Absolutely.
It's a matter, and I think this is another saying. We want to have money. We don't want the money to have us. So just like you said before, it's really not allowing things to master us, but it's being able to know the purpose behind it and our motivation and intent.
And the thing is, when you have worked towards something and you've gained something, that's that. And if you lose it, you can always go back to what you worked so hard for. But when it has been given or you've gotten it deceitfully, then your world is ending.
Yep.
Because your money has stopped. Hashtag facts.
Yes, absolutely.
That's FACTS, not FAX.
This is true, Mr. Famous. The fourth area is money vigilance. And so this is really more so about trying to have management with that money. That comes into our lives and the beliefs of how that management can actually believe it is important to work and save, watchful and concerned with finances. And it's really understanding that management.
Yeah, but it's amazing because, again, the other day we were just talking about health. And we're talking about health has a certain belief that's tied to your history.
Remember, and this is why as a CBT therapist, unless I'm doing like solution focused, we'll talk about all of these things in a future, podcast, but, it is important to assess where that belief stemmed from.
From the family.
So we ask questions about what was money talked about when you were growing up? What was your first memory and understanding of money? What was it an argument about money? Did you get money freely? Were allowances given? Did you work for money?
Exactly. I and this is real, i.e. my experience. Growing up, I've never saw a light turned off. Never saw a light turned off. Never seen our water turned off. Never saw that. Food always on the table. Always on the table.
Yes, y'all. His mama cooked every single day.
But guess what? I always seen late notices. I always saw that.
Yeah.
I learned that as long as it get paid. But as I got older, I realized that there was penalties to that. And that you're actually losing money, even though nothing gets turned off, you lose nothing, but yet you're still giving out money.
Yeah. So there's a belief of procrastination that's introduced,
I think
right?
it's more than procrastination. I think it goes back to one of the things that we talked about. Money avoidance. No?
Absolutely. Avoidance is procrastination, right?
Well, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Where you procrastinated with answering that, but I understood you. But, but the thing is, our beliefs, they transfer to other areas of our lives. So it's really being able to understand the way we think, because then we can start solving these formulas. It's like the X equals this. When we understand what X is like the same thing in the other equation.
That's good. Again, it's something that we really have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
We have to be honest with ourselves and say, you know what? This is not working for me. What must I do? And that's where we become more educated. Money is about education. How to save. Because in the community I come from, listen, I got some money. I'm going to go buy myself some things because I haven't been able to buy what I want.
So it's this starvation, right? It's like been starving, and you start thinking in your mind, what am I going to eat when I get it? What am I?
Exactly.
It's like being hungry, right. And then you get to the restaurant and you have imagined all of the dishes and the meals in your mind, and so when you get there, you order everything.
Right. No, I just had this image in my head that when you're starving like that, your face is in the plate and you're just rushing food up. You're not even chewing, you're just swallowing.
Right. Oh, that's good, Famous.
That's good.
Yeah. That's another book. You're saying some deep things there, because if we know and understand that belief, then we can change that belief and see how it impacts us in our lives.
And when I look at one thing I learned, and I've been in places where I made very little, and I've been in places where I made a lot. Okay.
I've learned to be content.
And you know what I noticed in all of that? If I made a little or a lot, if I didn't manage it as if I had little.
The truth of the matter is we all have something, right?
Yeah.
So even if it's not money, the way you manage your time says something. You know what? There's an amazing book, just to tell you, this book changed my life years ago, and it's actually by Ruby K. Payne. It's a framework for understanding poverty. It's getting out of poverty. Some of you all in your communities may have heard of Bridges.
Poverty,
Bridges Out of Poverty. All of this is really good information. I encourage you to review it. But it talks about how poverty is more than money, how it's really that mindset. There's all of these resources that are connected to it. It's networking, it's relationships, it's education, it's mental. There's all hidden rules, but it's really knowing that once you get the keys, it can definitely switch you into another area.
How did you learn about money? I know I don't know if I was in the 7th grade or 8th grade or if I was in high school, but I had a class on how to write checks. We had a close friend.
Do you all know what checks are?
We had a close friend not too long ago, and we were just asking them, to send out a letter.
Right.
Absolutely no idea what that looked like.
Oh, let me tell you.
And a lot of now check writing, it's like, what is that? How do I do this?
Yeah. We were talking to someone, and we're going to save them the embarrassment if they are out there listening. And not that it's embarrassing. You know what? I take that back. It's not even embarrassment. Yeah. It's the times we live in, but just understanding. And so some of you all out there may not even know what checks are. Do y'all know what CDs are? Okay. Anyways, we're going to keep it moving. But they were like, how do you write a check? And they asked us, and we were like, you don't know how to write a check? Just because that, like you said, it was where we were at.
Right.
And so I don't even know.
But I bet they know a PIN number.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, for sure.
They
PIN
definitely
numbers,
know a PIN number.
Apple Pay, and all of this, right?
Send it through Cash App.
Yeah, Cash App.
And I'm like, what is that?
Absolutely. Venmo me,
so
right?
I've caught on. Caught on.
Yeah. These are, hey, we got to get with it. You get with it or you get left behind. As I say, you choose not to. But when we have these apps and these downloads on our phone, software update tonight that needs to take place actually on my phone right now. See, there it is. Famous doesn't like to do updates, you all. Podcasters, Famous does not like to do updates. He thinks there's something crazy going on in there. My belief says, if I don't do this update, I will not receive all of the information from the new updates. I'm going to get left behind.
And my saying is, the old has worked. Why are we changing it?
Yeah. Now, remember, we talking about belief systems here. And so, for me, speaking of belief systems and what we learned, I learned about money earlier. It's funny because we actually were doing a journaling activity on money. And as I was reflecting on some of my historical beliefs on money, I learned early on, not that my family by any means had money, but I learned that they did not have money.
Not to do.
I learned what not to do. I learned that they did not have money. Okay. And I learned, and you all, again, we're going to be sharing our stories, different parts. So you'll hear, about it as you continue to listen. Continue listening,
Continue
you all.
to listen. A fulfilled life.
Continue to listen. There were times I had no place to live, a single mom, just a lot of things going on. But my point is that early on in my life, I learned that my parents could not provide for me the way I really wanted or needed and desired to have. And I think on some levels needs, just because of where things were at in my family at that time. And so I learned, I had a belief of if I want it, I have to get it done myself. I recall in the 6th grade, starting my first business actually in the 6th grade.
Now. Listen, this girl is amazing, you guys.
Oh, I love it. But you know what? I realized what was there. And so for me, I said, hey, in order to get what it is that I want to get, I have to make the sacrifice and not depend on others to do it. I was printing out on the computers artwork with people's names on it to put on their lockers. And then a year later in the 7th grade.
What year were you born?
Not 1967. It was
completely different generation.
After 67.
Entrepreneur. And my generation was a little different, I think. For me, at least. It was different.
Yeah.
Didn't have that thought process.
Well, you know what? You're saying some good stuff right now, Famous, because here's the thing. When we look at the world that we live in, we have to pay attention as to how that also adds to our belief and our lens that we see through. And we're going to go through a few more just to give you all something to think about. We want you to digest it and ask yourself, is this a belief that you have? Because all of this plays a role in it. So I'm going to say one and just we'll see if it resonates with you. If something hits you in that money area.
Okay.
More money will make things better. If I just win the lotto. How many people say that all the time? Absolutely. Money is bad.
Yeah.
Money's horrible. I don't need money. I don't deserve money.
I don't deserve money. That's big.
And think about how that is connected to the way we see ourselves. Please do not take this as a sign to go into your savings, your 401k, and clean out all of your investments and spend money.
Don't do it.
We are not saying that, but we are saying that it's important, podcasters, to have an understanding of your belief about money.
You know what's really coming to me really quick, just to break that up a little bit?
Yeah.
Instant gratification. When you have been denied for whatever reason, when you're like, okay, I got to get rid of it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to get rid of it because I've been denied for so long. And so I just got X amount of dollars and I'm going to go spend X amount of dollars on things.
Yeah. The way we spend money, it tells us what's important to us. Yeah. So if we were to listen, podcasters, if you were to show me, not your checkbook, because we already know some people don't know what that is, but your account. If you were to show me your account and your receipts for the last 30 days, I would know what is important to you. What's your focus just by looking at your finances, because our finances tell us what's in our heart.
Yeah. We used to say by looking at your checkbook, but we don't use
that's why I said
anymore.
We can't do that anymore. But your account, we all still have accounts. So if I looked at your phone, I could tell what's important to you because our actions are based off of our beliefs, right?
Exactly. Our beliefs and our beliefs stem from our upbringing.
Our environment, unless there has been some type of a successful intervention.
Exactly. Adapting, manifesting something differently.
When we think about beliefs, and we ain't getting into the neuroplasticity and all of that stuff, we ain't doing that today.
That's my stuff right there.
I know Famous loves that, and we'll have a podcast about that in the future, I'm sure. So stay along, remain, please.
Nothing is hardwired.
You can change it, so please be encouraged. But there was an example of walking on grass, right? If you were to walk outside and you were to walk on grass, the grass would come back up. You step on it, you walk through something, it pops back up. But if you continuously walk on that grass, you create a path. Now there is dirt, and there is a completely different path that can lead you to so many things.
So I'm gonna go a little deep on you there.
Right,
So we create these paths and we follow these paths, and sometimes these paths are just leading us to the same result. And we're starting to question. Now we're starting to get a little depressed because we keep doing the same thing. But if we look to the left or if we look to the right, we can create different paths.
Right. So the main thing we want to make sure that everyone takes away from this today is assess your beliefs about money. What were you taught about money? How do you feel about money? How are you doing with money now? And what do you need in your life to make that change with money? We love to hear about your thoughts about money and mental health.
Money.
Money.
Some people got to have it.
Yeah, we still ain't got it right.
Yeah. Some people really need it.
Okay. I think he really wants to sing to you all
I think I'm a singer in another life. I think I was a singer.
But not this life. Not this life.
Not this life.
All right, you all. Thank you so much for listening. We will absolutely see you soon.
Until then, have a fulfilled life.
Have a fulfilled life.